All right, guys. Happy Saturday. So, I was on a group with a bunch of women talking about different family stuff. So, I have a passion to help families to come out of destructive patterns, I guess I would call it. You can love your family, love them, love them, love them, but there are some destructive patterns you have to come out of. So, for example, I was talking about being a small town girl. That's where I'm from, Epsom, New Hampshire. And I was talking about, don't mind my hair, guys. I didn't even shower last night because I was so sore from the bike. But this girl had said, I understand what you're saying. She's like, I've had to leave stores because I've had family who has, put me down in a store. Like, she's seen them. Small town is hard to get out of, guys. It really is. So I was saying that my mother-in-law, her mother, Ruth Sawyer, knew everyone in Epsom. Like, everybody, right? So relationship was not developed. I think that's a big problem. So I didn't really have a mother-in-law who really helped me develop relationship with her mother, my grandmother-in-law, because she didn't have a good relationship with her, okay? So when that happens and she doesn't develop relationship with her sisters, your aunt-in-laws, your son doesn't really have relationships developed with his aunts and uncles because of the selfishness there. Instead of being nurturing and saying, let me develop relationships, there's a lot of loss there. So I remember, let me see, I just got home. I'm going to do this video, then I'm going to clean, then I'm going to do homework, and then I'm going to clean again. But that's why I'm sitting down here like I just got in. I remember being at Walmart in Concord with my oldest, and we were there getting him, like, I think it was Spider-Man stuff or something. And my dad's cousin, Mike McCarr, gave me a dirty look. He gave me a total dirty look. I did a double take. I'm like, did I see this right? And his wife, who's now passed, Colette, who we grew up with, she actually welcomed me and said, hey, Melissa, how are you? And Mike was just very cold, very rude to me. And shortly after that, I saw my Aunt Linda Meehan. She's also in Deerfield. All my relatives lived on the same road on my dad's side. She's like, are you homeschooling? Seriously, guys, I got a lot of persecution for homeschooling my kids. And I said, you bet, I am. Something like that. Definitely. And she was just so rotten to me because I chose to take a different path in life. So when you have people like that in your life, especially a small town, not just Epsom, but you have Deerfield that's connected, Pembroke, Chichester, Suncook, Manchester, all your relatives live right around each other, and you don't even know, when you look back at family history, you're like, who is this person who married this person, right? You don't even know. The history hasn't been taken care of. It's almost like coming out of a cult or coming out of how about a mob? I would say a mob almost. So I chose to do things very differently. I went to a small church when I first became a Christian, and a lot of them were homeschooling. And I'm like, what is homeschooling? I never heard of it. And so as I did my own research and dug into book after book after book of philosophy on homeschooling, I'm like, this makes perfect sense. Makes perfect sense. So I chose to lay my life down and homeschool my kids, and I have no regrets. But for the fact I chose to be different, I had a lot of persecution. My mother-in-law's mother, Ruth Sawyer, said, geez, I hope you don't ruin his life. My son's my firstborn. Hope you don't ruin his life. I'm like, no, I don't think I'd ruin his life. And where I went to public school, I mean, there's enough of public school in me that they are socialized naturally from me because I had a lot of public school. So, it's sad when these are the dynamics. So I am helping other women come out of this. The small town gossip, I can't stand it. I can't stand small town gossip. And it's so petty. I've seen articles in the newspaper at Suncook Valley newspaper and other small town newspapers that say, so and so said someone left the trash out and the wind was blowing and the trash was blown by the wind across the street. And this person wants to know who did it. And I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. You gotta be kidding. Is this not petty? So usually a small town, not a lot going on. Usually you get in trouble when you're a teenager because there's nothing going on. That is some of the distractions of a small town. Like when my husband and I were growing up, there was nothing. There's nothing to do. He kind of was fed more by a silver spoon. I was talking to somebody about this, about how important it is to help people. He didn't really have a lot of responsibility as a kid. I was out helping my mother all the time, help people. And that is why I feel one of my passions in life is helping other people. So, when you're raised that way, you learn to care about people. I actually thrive around other people. So like today I was out and I said to this guy who's kind of like a friend, I said, "Oh, do you like my nails? I just got them done." And he's like, "Yeah, those look nice." He goes, "Are you going on a date?" I go, "No, I'm not going on a date." I go, "This is for me." So, anyways, so I am a super people person. I love to talk about God. I usually try to pray for people when I'm out. I share my faith. It's the most important thing that you can have in this life. Everything else goes. Relationships, money, everything, guys. Your health eventually will go. Time, you won't have the time you used to have. So this is why we want to build not only on God, but when we do have relationships, we want to build well. And a lot of people just don't take time for relationships. They just don't. They stay in this cycle of, oh yeah, they're not like this. They're different. And instead of working on a relationship, pulling it back and working on a relationship, they've just got this cut and dry, matter of fact mentality that this is the way that you are supposed to fit into society. Like you're supposed to, by age, 40, have a retirement account. By age 20, you have to be married. On and on it goes. So you want to break those molds and you want to live for God, okay? And that's going to educate you even more because then you see people who are different, who do things differently, and your bond is in your faith. And I had somebody say in the family, this is someone, my former sister-in-law, who was pretty rotten on social media to me. She's like, "Oh yeah, you're one of us," to somebody else. Very cultish mindset. And then she tried to come after me. Very freaking rude, because if it wasn't for me, I brought her to church, I helped her, and then she tried to compete with me and be very jealous with me. So you gotta be able to see this stuff, guys. And when my mother, when she had COVID, after not wanting to talk to me, okay, I saw her at Walmart. She betrayed me with a kiss on the cheek in front of my grandmother. And then at COVID, I had reached out to her with my son. Reached out, heard she was in the hospital. Super nice, tried to work it out. Told her I love her. She said the same. Within a week, I hear, "It's too hard to have a relationship with you." That's not the mom that I thought I had. So guys, you got to break down these relationships. You got to build better. And you got to move forward with better systems in place and better relationships. So just because someone changes and becomes a Christian, as I did, and they don't like you for being a Christian, you can't, it's just too bad. You have your own life to live. So being a Christian is awesome, guys. Highly recommended. One of the healthiest things, one of the best things you can do in your life is to have hope in this life. Because we're all going to go soon, right? And I was listening to Charlie Kirk. He was talking to a transgender girl who's like, I think I'm a I think I'm a guy, I don't think I'm a girl, or something like that. And Charlie hit it well. He said, "Tell me your story. Where is the pain coming from? Where is the trauma coming from?" And instead of messing up your body, basically, try to transform your mind, your brain, and try to see what's really going on in there. So we have a system right now of lies. People are believing that's not the truth. And this is why we want to start with tearing down family. We want people to come to know Christ, okay? Come to believe in God. And then from there, once somebody is a Christian, then there's a whole new way to build a life, a whole new way as a Christian. You're now building with loving one another, caring about one another, speaking truth to one another, not the little manipulative stuff that family tries to do, not all the gossip, not all the, what else, lack of communication. You are building differently. And that's what we want to do. We want to build our relationships on the rock. So that's what I got for now, guys. I'm going to go clean and then I have homework. But that's what I got for now. Thanks for joining me.